Sometimes a fugitive gets killed themselves, and sometimes innocent bystanders get killed when we pursue fugitives. It's a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous business. About 4 years ago now, time goes so quickly, I got with my friend here, Doug Weiner, and a minister in Cleveland, C.J. Matthews, and we wanted to come up with something that made a difference. Because back in 2000, I happened to be at the hospital when a police officer in Cleveland was killed in line of duty by a fugitive on the run. And he was killed, the father of 3 young kids, and a good man, went to church every Sunday, was in the hospital when he died. And we wanted to do something that would make a difference out there on the streets. So we came up with the Fugitive Safe Surrender program. Now, in my life, the most important institution, for me personally, has always been the church. It's a place, I haven't missed Mass like 17 straight years. My wife thinks I'm trying to break Brother Marshal's record, not the case. But it's a place I find the most comfort, the most security, and I find the most peace in my life. And so back in 2005, and actually about April 2004, I had an idea. And the idea that I took to Mr. Weiner here, who developed this program, and he is the developer of this program, was this. In my mind, it was simple. Take the whole Justice Center, your police, prosecutors, your judges, your public defenders, your court reporters, your translators, your sheriffs, police, everybody that you would see in a Justice Center, take them out and put them in that place of trust, the church. And then have that minister, that coalition of ministers, go out to the community and encourage all those individuals that are wanted, some of the 50,000 in the Northern District of Ohio, to come and surrender through the doors of the church, where a judge would be sitting in the church. Now, 1.2 million warrants in the nation today. Half of those many violent offenders, like this Rodney Potter that we caught this week that was abusing kids in the past. The other half, about 600,000, non-violent in nature. Theft from 15 years ago, can't get a job. Possession of a crack pipe, so on and so on. Half the warrants out there, non-violent in nature. So we designed this program geared to those that were non-violent, with no violence in the past. And we put the message out through the churches and through the ministers in this one church to have those come and surrender through the doors of the church. And we built into the program reentry, job placement, counseling for those that needed help. We started this in Cleveland in 2005 in August. The Reverend went out to the community, encouraged those in the community to come surrender. We didn't know if 1 would show up or if 5 would show up. But in 4 days, because of that place of trust, 850 fugitives surrendered through those doors, including over 300 for felony violations. So we knew we had something good, and we were on to something. Built on trust about the church. In fact, you're going to find out from Kent State University that nearly 85% of the individuals that have surrendered throughout all the cities now are saying that they're only surrendering because this is held at a church. The most important person in this program is not the judges, the police, the prosecutors, the public defenders. The most important person in this program is that minister, that person that the community trusts, or that priest. We've done this in 14 cities across America, and 19,500 fugitives have surrendered through the doors of churches. And in fact, we're going to be doing it, if anybody has the opportunity to come to Akron at the House of the Lord on July 29th, 30th, 31st, and August 1st of this year. We're going to be doing it in Akron for the second time. We did it in Akron 2 years ago. We had 1,100 that surrendered in 4 days. When we did this in Detroit last summer, we had 1,100 that surrendered in the first 6 hours. 6,500 fugitives surrendered in 4 days. Are we on to something? We're on to something. In Memphis, Tennessee alone, over 300 individuals that surrendered, that were previously wanted, were able to be placed back into jobs. And how good is that for me? In 26 years of law enforcement, the one thing I know in my life is it's better to have people working than on the streets, because it's going to make all of us safer. Desperate people commit desperate acts with tragic, tragic consequences. And what Fugitive Safe Surrender does is it takes the desperateness away. And those that are wanted peacefully and voluntarily surrender. And for every fugitive that peacefully and voluntarily surrenders, what does that mean? That means one less dangerous confrontation that law enforcement has to have on the streets and you have to face. Right? We're on to something good here. There's been many spin-offs of this program, and that's fine. The bottom line is we want people to surrender. In fact, in Philadelphia, I believe, next month, they're going to be doing an offshoot of this program. The prosecutor in Akron did an offshoot of this program with deadbeat fathers. What else, Doug? Who else has done offshoots of this? Youngstown just did an offshoot of this program. There's ways to simplify it. The backbone of the program is the volunteers at the church. We have hundreds and hundreds. Doug runs that training. Just recently in Akron, I believe you've had close to 100 volunteers at the church that are there. What we hear from them is what I hear, what I think everybody wants to hear, and that is they're treated with respect. And they've never found that before. Now, Doug can get into how this program is structured, how we set up a hotline, so there's no religious requirements. If somebody's not comfortable surrendering to a church, we give them a secular alternative. 19,500 people, nearly 19,500 people. I believe we've had 2 individuals that have called the hotline and didn't feel comfortable surrendering to the church. We've worked with the ACLU in pretty much many, many areas around the country. We've listened to them, and we've partnered with them. This is a win-win for the community. The Attorney General of Ohio here, Rich Cordray, has partnered with us on Fugitive Safe Surrender here in Akron and has provided some of the funding this year to go forward with this. This has gained national attention. It is back in 2006, took it to Washington. We got bipartisan support and got a bill passed making Fugitive Safe Surrender a permanent program. $16 million was allocated for that program. To this day, we still don't have a dime in it. So, we have been working with the Bureau of Justice Assistance, Office of Justice Programs, and fortunately, within the last, since 2005, we've been able to acquire probably over $1 million that they put forward to fund Fugitive Safe Surrender throughout the nation. Desperate people commit desperate acts with tragic consequences. And again, what Fugitive Safe Surrender does is takes the desperateness out of the equation and have those people that are wanted peacefully and voluntarily surrender to us.
What I liked about this program, well, let me do it this way. I'll take you back to 2004, spring at a Starbucks in Aurora, Ohio. And Pete had asked me if I wanted to meet him there for a coffee. I said, sure. We sat down, and he looked at me and he said, I have an idea. And he proceeded to outline this vision that he had for this program. And he described it in some detail. I think it'll come to you when you're staring at it.
That is correct.
That's good. One of the great ideas in life. And when he finished, I didn't say anything. And he interpreted that as me thinking that it was a bad idea. So he said to me, you're not saying anything. It was like this. He said, well, you think I'm crazy? And I said, no, actually, I think you're inspired. I think it's an inspired idea. And he knew what he wanted to do. And he's busy doing other stuff. But he didn't work until about 7 o'clock at night. So he asked me if I would build it. And I said, it's a privilege to do it. So we took about a year and a half, because everybody in this room does projects. The first time, no project is ever easy. No project the first time is remotely easy. And no project the first time, when nothing like it has ever been done before, is done by any sane person. But we weren't sane. So we decided we were going to try to do this. And we knew what it was going to take, because Pete's vision was to get everybody together. All the federal people, all the state people, all the local people. And then we're going to go out after we have all these criminal justice people from all these levels of government, and we're going to approach the clergy. We're going to say, you want to partner with us on this? Say yes, come on, say yes. And as everybody in this room knows, at times, there's not a lot of trust between those two sectors of the community in our country. So we had to work on